Hi, I'm SEKSYEN. I'm the leader of Group 13. Today, we are going to discuss our topic, Meritocracy in Singapore, a fair system or reinforcement of inequality.
Hello everyone, my name is NATANEL. My matrix number is BB24110466 and I will be presenting my introduction parts. Meritocracy actually comes from a combination of Latin word Mario, which means I earned, and ancient Greek suffix kratia, meaning power or rule. Simply put, it is a system where people are chosen and move into position of success and power based on their demonstrated abilities. Since its independence in August 1965, Singapore has heavily emphasized merit-based policies across education and public service. These policies helps the nation survive immense early pressure, allowing it to grow rapidly into the highly competitive economy we see today. However, as Singapore's economy has matured, the system is increasingly facing public and economic scrutiny. The main concern is that an unfiltered meritocracy eventually breeds structural inequality. The system promises equal opportunity in theory, but the practical reality is that differences in family background create very unequal starting points. High-income individuals enjoy disproportionate access to private premium tuitions and influential social capital. This makes it significantly easier for them to succeed compared to low-income individuals. Consequently, what began as a mechanism to dismantle privilege now risks becoming a system that merely legitimizes, allowing wealthy families to pass down their advantages under the guise of merit. This raises an urgent question: does Singapore's current model still ensure fairness, or does it entirely systemic inequality?
Hello, I'm FEVRYAN, matrix number BS25110127. This presentation examines meritocracy through three theoretical lenses: liberalism, democracy, and critical theory, which reference to Singapore. From a liberal perspective, meritocracy promotes equal opportunity, but structural inequalities like income gaps and private tuition undermine this promise. Democracy affirms meritocracy rejection of privilege, yet warns that a narrow, homogeneous elite is becoming a technocracy, disconnected from ordinary citizens. Critical theory goes further, arguing that meritocracy naturalizes inequality by ignoring the structural advantage that determine who can compete in the first place. These frameworks do not reject meritocracy, they hold it to its own standard. A genuine meritocracy must address structural inequality, ensure accountability, and continuously reform itself. Thank you.
Hello, my name is NURSHAMIRA ABDULLAH, matrix number PA25110098. Today, I will present about our meritocracy in Singapore. The Singapore is a state has described as a strong paternalistic state that play an active interventionist role in shaping economy and society. Since independence of Singapore in 1965, the Singapore state has combined political and economic expertise to develop the country. During the period of merger from 1963 to 1965, meritocracy and equality of ethnicities would be major point of contestation that led Singapore's separation. Therefore, leaders at that time viewed meritocratic public administration and educational system as essential to maximizing human capital for national surviving. Democracy idea in Singapore give opportunity for all Singaporeans and give idea that everyone should have chance at life. The history of Singapore, meritocracy was important as an principle that distinguished itself from country in the region. As the multicultural society with the need of develop, meritocracy was an important concept to provide framework from people to come together and participate without favoring any particular ethnicity.
Hello everyone, my name is MOHAMMAD NAZREL. I'm going to present the meritocracy in Singapore education and employment in the state. Singapore meritocracy model rests on three interlocking mechanisms: high streaming, high stake resignation, and competitive scholarship framework. Together identify and channel talent from the education system is through streaming, examination, and scholarship, also streaming, academic streaming. This mechanism collectively rewards examination performance, but critics, including 2008 and 2007, argue they privilege students with access to tuition and cultural capital, limiting the mobility, employment and recruitment at the limit of meritocracy. Public sector and public consideration framework. Singapore service recruit on a merit, accepting but only the higher employee. Cultural capital disadvantage by accepted as a neutral talent. You know how unequal the access to enrichment successfully disadvantages to.
Hi, I'm Ke Xiang. Today, I'm going to present the advantages and challenges of meritocracy in Singapore. Firstly, meritocracy has contributed greatly to Singapore's economic success. By focusing on talent, skills, and hard work, Singapore has developed a productive workforce and a strong economy. This system motivates people to perform well in education and their careers. It also attracts foreign investors and multinational companies because Singapore is seen as efficient and competitive. Secondly, meritocracy has helped create efficient governance. Government positions are given based on ability and performance rather than personal connections. This reduces corruption, increases public trust, and ensures that policies are focused on the country's long-term development. In addition, meritocracy promotes social mobility. People from lower income backgrounds can improve their lives through education and hard work. However, there are also challenges. Not everyone starts with equal opportunities. Wealthier families can provide better education and resources for their children. Meritocracy may also increase income inequality and create social divisions between elites and non-elites. Furthermore, the strong focus on academic achievement can cause stress and psychological pressure among students. In conclusion, although meritocracy has helped Singapore achieve success, the system still needs improvement to ensure fairness and equal opportunities for everyone. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hello, my name is ASHTON and I'm going to be presenting my part, which is balancing meritocracy and equality. Traditionally, Singapore's strict meritocracy has powered Singapore's massive economic success by rewarding individuals based entirely on talent and effort. However, left unchecked, it risks reproducing structural inequalities, where elite advantages are passed on to generations. To break this single-track hierarchy, Singapore must evolve into a more compassionate meritocracy. This means by broadening how Singapore defines success by expanding subject-based banding, utilizing holistic university admissions, and treating vocational mastery on par with academic scores. True opportunity is impossible if people in Singapore start from different lines. Singapore needs to shift into a more aggressive upstream equity, funneling more resources to neighborhood schools, and making high-quality preschools free for lower-income households. At the same time, Singapore must soften the winner-takes-all culture with permanent safety nets and progressive wages to guarantee economic dignity. By expanding our definition of talent, leveling the playing field early, and securing an economic baseline for all, Singapore can successfully rewrite its social compact for a more inclusive future. Thank you. In conclusion, redefining meritocracy. Traditionally, Singapore's meritocracy has been a powerful economic engine, building a highly competitive workforce and clean public governance. However, left unchecked, it risks creating severe social stratification and mental anxiety among Singapore's youth. To fix this, Singapore must address three theoretical challenges. Liberalism reminds us that starting points are vastly unequal. Critical theory warns that rigid exams sanitize generational privilege. And last but not least, democracy cautions against a detached technocracy that loses touch with the public. We see this play out clearly in the multi-billion-dollar tuition industry. High-income families can heavily leverage their wealth, turning a race meant for raw talent into a measure of parental resource strength. Singapore's policy must focus and pivot aggressively upstream. Instead of downstream university aid, Singapore needs to target resources, premium teacher placement in neighborhood preschools, and fully subsidize early learning to guarantee an equal starting baseline for all. In conclusion, by actively rewriting these systematic foundations, Singapore can move past a framework that measures wealth over worth, successfully balancing true economic efficiency with deep institutional compassion. Thank you.